Peter Silverman and Max Rubins, the founders of Majorwise, were college roommates. One night they were talking about their work experiences in high school. It turned out that only one of them had had a really meaningful experience, while the other had not. And thus the idea for a website to help high school students find great internships was born. While still in college, the team started building their minimum viable product that would help students find internships while helping schools manage this time-consuming and burdensome process. The team impressed us with their energy, passion, and courage. They managed to sign up their first customer with just a website mock-up and have been generating revenue ever since. Today, the product is being used by dozens of schools with more signing up every month. They've also started to work with employers to engage them in a new high-margin revenue model. We think that the emerging market for experiential learning solutions is rapidly growing and that Majorwise is poised to become a major player in this new space.
Yo, Matt's a sweetheart. That was awesome. Hey, everybody. My name is Peter Silverman. I'm introducing you today Majorwise. We are a solution to a nationwide problem. I want you to think back to your very first job. Now, probably something you haven't thought about in a while. Probably when you had it, 10, 20, 30, 40, whatever years ago it was when you were about between the ages of 16 and 18. And what I want to tell you now is in 2018, that trend is rapidly declining. Over 51% of students in the US between 16 and 18 had no professional experience while in high school. What does that mean? It means they are missing out. Huge. If you have any professional experience while you are in high school, you are 23% more likely to attend college. You're 22% increased annual earnings over your entire life. And if you specifically have an internship in high school, 45% of those students are offered full-time jobs right out of the gate. And just to give you a little bit of an example, personally, since most of you probably haven't been thinking about high school internships that much, I was a programmer at Tufts University in the psychology department. And essentially what that allowed me to do was I wrote about it for my Common App, and that got me my acceptance letter to the University of Vermont, and that got me my scholarship, and that got me to meet my co-founder Max when we were freshman year roommates, and that got me here. So why don't more students do this? Well, number one, jobs are really hard to find. The way job posts are written for entry-level positions, they describe ideal candidates. No one writes, hey, I really want a 16-year-old with no experience and no skills and limited transportation and limited time. Not only that, schools are pushing for the placement of students. Schools understand very well the value that professional experience gives, both to their students and their alumni and their college acceptance rates. However, many of these schools are in need of assistance. And just to give you guys a visual, these are the 35 states in America that have some regulation around some work-based learning in order to graduate. So what is Majorwise? Majorwise is a marketplace to connect the schools with the employers. Think of us as a LinkedIn for high school students. Essentially, in schools, the career coordinator is in charge of placing over 300 students per year. They have very few days to do this, and they have limited professional connections generally. This is a very, very, very hard task, especially when you Google high school jobs. There isn't really much going on there. Not to mention, they don't have any tools to automate this process. It's pen and paper for every single one of them. And not only that, employers also struggle with this. If you want to hire someone who's 16 to 18, this is one of our clients in Vermont. They're a ski mountain. They have a bunch of like boot valets and cooks and all that. They have to pay generally $313 per employee hired. So how do we make money? We have two business models. Number one is to charge schools between $3,000 and $7,000 per year. This gives us an active marketplace of students who are applying to jobs. On top of that, we charge employers about $25 per job post, which is still drastically undercutting the cost of both finding interns as a school and hiring entry-level employees as an employer. As for traction, we've got over 20 schools in over 7 states in the past 6 months. Recently, we've changed our traction completely to focus on Boston and New York and make those 2 areas amazing. Our market size for schools is about 165 or 156 million. Now, this isn't the biggest market in the world. However, when we have schools signing on, we get an active user base of students who are generally required to apply to jobs. And this opens us up to an amazing active marketplace where employers get all of these applications. And the employer market size is enormous. It's 830 million. It is a huge market. Now, as for financial projections, we believe that as we place more and more interns, the amount of revenue from both employers and schools will go far, far up. The point I want to make with this slide is that when we have more schools signing on and the more we have a great community of both posting jobs and having students apply to them, the more impact we can make and the more money we make from both sides. We have a young and ambitious team. Max and I are recent college graduates, and our CTO, Devin, is in charge of a nonprofit that manages hiring African-American people in New York. We have an amazing group of advisors, from Microsoft to Oracle to Twitter to Magic Leap. And I just want to say that high schools are creating these programs. Many need assistance placing these students, and Majorwise will make the difference. If you're interested in this at all, please come talk to me. I'm very open to it. Thank you.